did my schooling from different part of the India because my father he was serving for the Indian Army.
Mm-hmm.
So and but I have completed my class 10th and 12th from Assam Kendriya Vidyalaya.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so after completing my schooling, I went to Delhi for my further studies,
Mm-hmm.
and from I have done my graduation from Delhi University in BA Arts. Okay, and economics was my major subject during my college time.
Mm-hmm.
And after spending 3 years in Delhi University, after completing my graduation, I mean to say, I've started learning a French language. So French language I have learned for 3 years, and I am fluent in reading, writing, and speaking. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
based on that, I've got a job in Bangalore in 2014, as I mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
So since 2014, I am in Bangalore, and Nexa was my first company. So there, I was working as a linguistic in a change and incident management domain. So basically, I need to manage Active Directory as well as I need to work with the operation guys, operation teams where I need to handle the change and incident management. So 3 years I have worked over there, and after that, hello, can you
Yep,
hear me?
yep, 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 yep.
Yeah, because there's some error. It was showing WebSocket error. Anyway, so after 3 years spending in Delhi in Excel Technology and Shared Services, I moved to TCS. Okay, so TCS I have spent over almost 1 year. You cannot say 1 year exactly. 9 months I have spent
Mm-hmm.
because the project got ramped down,
Mm-hmm.
and then I have started looking outside. Then I have got a job in Dell. Okay, so Dell is the company where I have worked. Almost not almost 5 years I have worked on. So out of 5 years, 3 years I was working as a service operation team, change and incident management. Then I have learned MySQL DB and Oracle DB outside the organization, and with that interest, I have got the IJP and moved internally in Dell.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. So
Mm.
basically the 12 years experience, right? So how much experience do you have as a MySQL DBA?
So 5 years of experience I'm having in both MySQL as well as in Oracle DBA. So from 2020 till now, till date, I was working as a MySQL DBA. And when I was working for Society General, in the sense Capgemini, so they have deployed me in Society General.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there I used to work as a primary DBA in the sense in MySQL. Okay, but side by side I used to manage for Oracle also.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then recently, last year, I have switched to Nityo Infotech. So I was working as a contractor, and in this company, Marlabs, we are handling the MySQL databases. So basically, those databases are databases for the airlines company. So we have almost 110 databases, including on-premises as well as in cloud. Okay,
Okay.
so most of the database they have migrated to the cloud RDS. Yes.
So how many team members do you have in this company?
So total we are having 8 members in our team.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. So in MySQL, I'm telling about only 8 members are into the team.
So for 100 instances, you have 10 members, right?
So here in India we have 8 to 10 people, and then offshore, so like USA, so we have 4 people over there. So they are managing from there.
Okay. So including in the development, UAT and production environment, right? This total count
Yes.
is 100, right?
Yes.
Okay. Thank
So
you. Mm-hmm.
basically, we are considering them as a client.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we are not considering as a team because they are only working on some kind of issues are coming on performance side of issue. So that kind of things they are managing on. When it comes to the Indian counterpart, during the day shift we are managing all kind of issues. So
Okay.
all the operations like ticketing and all, we Indian team members they are managing for those.
Okay. Thank you. So may I know the database size, the biggest database size in your
So the
environment?
biggest database size I have worked on 8 terabyte in this
Mm-hmm.
organization in Marlabs
Okay.
where I have been deployed. I was deployed.
Mm-hmm.
So that
And
is for the Delta Airlines.
and the current version you're using 8.4, right?
No, no, not 8.4, 8 point in RDS. So we have 8.0.4 something was left.
Mm-hmm. So can you help me to understand what are the features in you see in 8 point something, right? Being a DVA.
8 point where? Sorry.
8 point, maybe 8.1, 8.2, 8.4, whatever you mentioned here, right?
So yes, so the major difference what I have seen, when I was working, so I did remember, so I was checking the backup history in 8.0. Okay, so there's a data dictionary called, there's a data dictionary for backup to check the backup history. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so when I went to the 8.4, okay, so there was no data dictionary. That data dictionary was removed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because of when I have checked internally, when I have checked the document for from Oracle, so they have mentioned that because of the data inconsistency, they have removed the data dictionary.
Okay.
So that is one part, and yeah, most of the parts are same apart from that uh, mm, uh, what you call like the 30 buffer clutch pages, so that been increased
Mm-hmm.
as compared to 5 to 8 version, and yes.
Okay, so this is about, okay, the you have done installation, upgrade, and application. Okay, we'll touch later, right? So can you help me to understand that MySQL architecture first?
So MySQL architecture, it is divided into two parts. So first we'll say the client and the server, and at the very last we have InnoDB engines.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, client is a utility where all the users are getting connected. Okay, to talk with the server. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so you can say like Java. Okay, ODBC, JDBC, MySQL, Workbench, or Toad,
Mm-hmm.
etc.
Okay.
Okay, so those are the utility which is connecting to the MySQL server, and then we have a MySQL server. So that is the major part where all the data processing is getting happened.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that is again divided into the subparts like query cache we have, then we have parser, then we have optimizer, then we have a key metadata. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
we have a connection handling also where whenever the user are getting connected from the client, so the connection is getting landed into the client connection handling. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so into that part, what it does, it will check the user authentication and authorization. Okay, once it is verified, it pass that connection to the parser. So parser check the SQL syntax what client has used. So based on the SQL syntax and SQL, it generate a SQL ID. Okay, so once the ID is getting generated, it again send to the optimizer to generate a good blend for that particular SQL ID.
Mm-hmm.
Once it is done, so it retrieve the data from first time. It retrieve the data from the InnoDB engine, right? Storage engine. So once the data is pulled and then the data is given to the query cache. From query cache, it went to the user. Okay. Let's say again some other user they have inquired for the same query. Okay. So rather than doing the optimizing and parsing, so it checks first check in the query cache and give the data to the user, and then and MySQL Server. So this is a major part, as I mentioned, where the data processing is happening, and then we have a MySQL D, okay, daemon process, so which manage incoming and outgoing connection on behalf of the client. Okay, so that is a multi-threaded process which takes care of the connections from as mentioned on the client from the client end. Okay, and then we have InnoDB engine. So that is a default engine after 5.5.5 version.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, prior to that, that ISM was there. Okay, so why InnoDB? Because that's the fully transactional in nature.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You can do take water first, yeah. Okay.
So actually, I'm having a throat infection since a few days.
Yeah, this is basically
Yep. Thank you, Salish.
yeah, thank you.
Yes. Yeah. So we have a different kind of engine at the very base, like InnoDB, MySM, then archive, then black hole, then NDB, and then performance schema and all. So based on the business requirement, we have to use that engine. So the default which we are using in all the standard which wherever I have worked for,
Mm.
so they are using the InnoDB database engine.
Okay. So can you differentiate between InnoDB and MySQL?
Okay, so if you are going to see the comparison, so InnoDB is a fully transactional, it's the asset compliance. Okay, wherein
Mm-hmm.
so I will tell you first about the InnoDB, then I will go to the MySM. Is it fine?
Yep, 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 good.
Yep. So InnoDB, that is a fully transactional asset compliance by nature,
Mm-hmm.
and because it is a fully transactional, it offers redos and undos in on disk memory structure. Okay, for the for the crash recovery. And then we have then InnoDB, it supports row level locking. Okay, and in InnoDB we have commit rollback and crash recovery.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it support, and then it stores the data in in a table space. So if it, file per table space is the default table space in InnoDB. Okay, and then we have InnoDB buffer pool as well as log buffer pool for performance and data concurrency.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, wherein if you'll jump to the on the other hand, MySQL, that is a non-transactional database engine. So that is basically for the read for speed, and then that offers a table level locking, and it stores the data in the form of key like MYD, MYI, and MYS.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and it doesn't support reduce and undos because it is non-transactional. So that's the basic difference in InnoDB and MySQL.
Okay. Can you differentiate between primary key and foreign key here?
So primary key, which mentioned, primary key, in the sense, it basically maintain the, it will maintain the data integrity, uniqueness of the column into the uniqueness of the row into the particular column or a table.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it won't accept null. It won't accept null value. Okay, where in the foreign key, it is going to be a reference. It will give the reference to the primary key of another table.
Okay, and then you have point in time recovery, backup. Okay, so what are the different type of methods you use to take a backup in MySQL?
See, when I was in Society General, so we are using community version as well as enterprise edition. Right, both the versions I have used on. So I
Mm-hmm.
have worked on extra backup. I have worked on MySQL Enterprise backup. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but since the database size in the sense the environment was big, so they were using AutoSys, that is a third-party tool, so which takes care of the backup on the back end.
Mm-hmm.
So if, as and when if required, as per the environment to take the full backup, if we want to do the refresh to another environment, then we are doing the, we are initiating the manual backup. So based on the environments, based on the database what we are using, if you are using the, enterprise backup and, enterprise edition, then we are using the enterprise backup. And if you are using the community, then we are using the extra backup.
Okay, so let's have a scenario. You told me you are working on 8 terabyte of a database, right?
Mm, mm.
So, which approach you use to take up backup of this database?
Full backup.
Yep,
So it's
along with
if
the
it is
schema and data, right? Both.
sorry.
Data and schema both, right?
Yes. So that depends on the size of the database. If they are asking us, they need a full database, a backup of full database, then we are approaching MySQL Enterprise backup.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and if it's a backup, if they are required for a few schemas, like the schema size is let's say 50 GB or 100 GB. Okay, so in that case, we are taking the and table. If they are looking for any particular table and all, then we are using the logical backup, MySQL dump.
Okay. So let's have one scenario again on top of this, right? It is taking 12 hours to take a backup, right?
Sorry, come again.
That 8 terabyte of database backup, it is taking approx 10 to 12 hours, right? So
Yes.
how can you reduce this time? Any parameters, any settings on the server side you do and then reduce the time?
See, the one thing is, if you want to take a backup, either you have a MySQL shell. With the help of MySQL shell, we can take the backup, which is way faster than as compared to the MySQL dump.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then another utility, that's a MySQL pump.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So in MySQL pump, you can increase the parallel execution, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you will increase the, like say the default is 4 or something.
Mm-hmm.
If you are going to increase based on the CPU,
Mm-hmm.
right? So let's say I have mentioned like 16 parallel. So it is going to, it will the what do you say, the backup speed of the backup.
Okay. And the for restore you can use the same parameters, right?
Sorry.
If you're going to restore this backup, right, you've taken the backup, right, and you're going to
Hmm.
restore on the lower environment which has a lower configuration than production environment, right?
Hmm.
So any changes there in the parameters?
Uh, I have not done yet, but if you are going to do it, and I don't think so, it is going to support if you are going to work do it.
Okay. Okay, so regarding this, okay, any monitoring, how you're monitoring currently in the organization? Any third-party tool, native tool, or any?
So we have a native tool for enterprise as I mentioned. So that is segregated. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
for RDS, so we have CloudWatch,
Mm-hmm.
and for enterprise we have OEM tool, and for the community version we have a Grafana
Mm-hmm.
and Percona monitoring tool. Yeah,
Okay, so how do you do performance monitoring
on where
in MySQL?
okay. So what kind of performance monitoring you mean to say?
This
so
is database
so
performance, query performance.
So query performance and all, I prefer, because we are having a Propana toolkit installed in our system for community version.
Mm-hmm.
So we are preferring that Propana performance Percona, what is that management tool, okay, monitoring tool. Okay, so where we can monitor everything like query, which query it is getting slow, since where it is getting stuck, what is the blocking sessions and all. The
Mm-hmm.
same comes into the picture when it comes to the OEM.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the CPU utilization? Yeah.
Okay, so let's say there is a query slowness, right? And you find that this query is very slow. It is taking a longer time than as usual, right? So what will you do?
So I need to check first, since when this, I'll have a call with the team, okay, development team, and I'll ask him what kind of if that is specific with that specific query, or if that issue is happening with all the queries.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So first thing first, I will go to the tool. I will see what kind of backup, what kind of query is running. Okay, and then I will use the explain plan. Then before explain plan, I will see if there is any blocking session, or if there is any deadlocks are there, if somebody is pulling any kind of report from their backend, because such thing make the performance degrade. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so once I will identify those things, I will next step I will go on for the explain plan. Okay, so I will use the explain plan for that particular query, and I will see okay what kind of query is running, and whether the index is properly being used into that query or not, joins are properly using or not. So those kind of thing I will check it. And apart from that, we have a performance schema.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, in performance schema we have a table called event statement summary by digest. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so that table, it gives you the brief detail of the query, what kind of query is running. Okay, since when it is pending into the since when it is running into the server, and how many rows it has faced and how many rows it has given to the client. Okay, and what kind of if it is using the joins properly or not. So that is the first thing, and then that is another thing, and then after that I will check the index. I will check the index if he is using a proper index or not, and I will check the definition of the table, show create table. Okay, and then I will see if he is using the duplicate queries in the sense duplicate index. Okay, then unused index, then invisible index. So based on that I will proceed it. So based on that I will give my output to him, and I will ask him to implement those output, and then implement those feedback, and then rerun it into the lower environment and see whether it is running fine or not.
Okay. So what are different type of indexes supported by MySQL?
So we have a wide range of indexes. First is primary key index, okay, unique index, and then unique that standard index, then composite index, then clustered index. That's a primary key index. Both are same, and then covering index.
Mm-hmm. So can you differentiate between this composite and unique index?
So composite index in the sense, so the index which we have in a multiple columns,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that is called the composite index, and unique index, what you said. So unique index, it is kind of similar to the primary key index, but it accepts the null value and making sure the non-null values are unique. Okay, so
Okay.
we can use the unique index in such as like I'm just giving a rough example. Okay, so like your company email ID for each employee.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then your Aadhaar card, let's say. So such kind of things we can use the unique index.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you differentiate between cluster and non-cluster index?
Cluster index is same like a primary key index. Okay, so which will maintain the uniqueness of the each rows on
Mm-hmm.
a table.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and it will not accept the null value.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, wherein clustered and primary key both are same, and non-clustered. I need to. I'm confused. So
It's opposite, right? Cluster and
it's
non-cluster.
opposite. It's opposite, right? So I'm not giving the correct definition of it.
Yeah.
It is into my mouth because index there are lots of concepts are there, right?
Yeah.
So I will definitely check it in
Oh,
detail.
okay. Okay. Thank you. So okay, so we are in the performance monitoring, right? So in performance monitoring, right, you get an pager duty alert, right? And it is sudden a spike in that monitoring, right? You see, and you are finding there is a query, right? It is impacting the CPU performance, CPU utilization, right? So what will you do? What are the steps you follow to come from this CPU utilization, right?
So first I need to verify like if using the database for the read intensive or write intensive,
Mm-hmm.
right? So because in most of the environment I've seen they are not using together. Okay, so if it is write intensive, if it is using running a high query like high patched query,
Mm-hmm.
okay, so that will definitely run means that just a minute, some.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, take your time. You're not
Yeah.
in this.
So no, because some tractors are going on. So basically, that will definitely spike your CPU utilization. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
First thing, let's say maybe there is a blocking session in backend. Okay. And let's say if somebody is running a query. Okay. So I'll check the buffer pool size. What is the size of that buffer pool? And what is the hit ratio, buffer hit ratio?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I will combine both the things and I'll see if the data what he's fetching is it reading directly from the buffer pool or it is in order to fetch that detail it is going to the storage engine and getting that data. So that case CPU can spike. And the other thing, if the user he has not used the index properly, okay, like primary key, covering index, and composite index. So if he is not using the indexes properly, then in that case it goes for the full table scan, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in that case, CPU might spike, okay. And after that, there are a few more things we need to check it, like relog size,
Mm-hmm.
okay. So how many means if it is doing a checkpoint on time or not, what's the size of relog buffer
Okay. Any other things?
and max connections. Okay, so yeah,
Okay.
and the indexes as I mentioned, like a duplicate index we will check. Okay, and then in usual index we will check it like if what happened. If we'll put the index in usual, then optimizer it is not going to take that plan. Okay, in might that's the case where CPU might get a spike
Okay.
and unused index. I'll check it here.
So this is okay, and okay, monitoring performance. Okay, so okay, towards the later. So have you got chance to work on replication part?
Yes, replication I have worked for GTI base, InnoDB, and the high availability I worked on.
So what are the different type of replication support MySQL?
So MySQL it support binary log based replication, and then the another is GTID based replication.
Okay. Any other benefits that we get in MySQL replication?
Benefit in the sense, the one and only, you know, the benefit what I am seeing for the moment, it is distribute the load from the
Mm-hmm.
primary server to the secondary,
Mm-hmm.
slave, right? So that the user, for the reader, read intensive data, they will get the appropriate speed and the performance.
Okay, so do we write any routing list for that, or any mechanism in that application is set for read connections go on that secondary, and update insert delete come on primary.
See, if it is, if you are having only one slave instance, then it will automatically go. You need to mention, the application endpoint, right, where the read intensive data should go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So on the top of that, you can install, you can have a router. Okay. So which will redirect. Let's say you have a two slave. Okay. So based on the router, it is going to route all the traffic between the slaves.
Okay, and in replication, right? What do you do if you see there is a replication lag is increasing?
So that depends what kind of, why we are getting the lag. So I
Mm-hmm.
will check the slave status first,
Mm-hmm.
and I will see if the IO slave is running or not, if a SQL slave is running or not. Again, how means, what is the lag between the source and the primary.
Mm-hmm.
So based on that, I will take an action. Let's say, in primary, I will go and I'll check the, the long running sessions are there, so that I will check it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then blocking sessions, if they are there, so that will drastically, if the blocking sessions are there, that will degrade the performance, so that I will check it. And then another thing is, if the binary logs get deleted, that time we will be having chances to have a lag between the source and the primary. And on the other hand, if you will go to the slave side, if relay logs are getting corrupted, okay, so that is one chance. And if, let's say, another thing is, if you don't have a space in the file system in primary or
Mm-hmm.
in either in slave, so that will make an issue, so that will make cause a lag.
Okay.
So
This.
based on the scenario, I will take an action, what kind of, precaution diagnostic I need to use
Okay. And what will you do to resync if replication crashed?
to resync.
Yep.
Crash in the sense, you mean to say lag, or it is
Totally
completely
crashed,
crashed,
right? Totally crashed.
totally crashed.
Yep.
If the data size is small, database size is small, I will take the logical backup and I'll restore it here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And if the database size is in TB, let's say 1 TB, 2 TB, 3 TB, then in that case, I will prefer, extra backup to take from the primary and restore it into the slave from the complete scratch.
Okay. Any other step you follow after that?
Uh, if if it is a GTID based application, then I don't need to mention anything. Then source auto position, I will mention it one. So because when we take the backup, okay, from the primary, so it already keep the information of GTIDs and all IDs. Okay, so I'll just
Mm-hmm.
mention that source auto position equal to one. It will start fetching the data from there. Okay, so if it is a binary log, then we need to mention the binary log position and the bin log file name.
Okay. And it is application. Any high HADR you have worked?
Sorry,
HA,
HA.
HA, yeah, high abilities.
Yes, InnoDB cluster I have worked on.
So what are that HA solution exist in MySQL?
So that's the InnoDB cluster. So that's the high availability solution, which which automatically it does the fault tolerant, okay,
Mm-hmm.
without any manual intervention. So that's the reason we are using a high availability InnoDB cluster group application.
Okay. And then that troubleshooting part, right? So let's have one scenario. You get a pager duty alert, right? MySQL instance is running out of disk. So how what are the steps you take care to resolve this issue?
So if MySQL is getting out of disk space, okay, so we have a alert mechanism set in place, okay. So
Mm-hmm.
that will give us, time to time alert, right? This is threshold in 80%, 85%.
Mm-hmm.
We have this much of space. Then 95%, 90%, then 95%. Okay. So Proactively I will monitor the alerts. Okay, and I will go to the physically I will log in into the server and I will see how much space is there. Okay, so first thing first, I will ask the Unix team to add the allocate the space. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and then after once they will add the space, then the second thing I will start doing the housekeeping for my hand. Housekeeping in the sense I will start digging. Let's say the first thing the index, okay, which consumes the space, right? So I will see what are the unused indexes are there, what are invisible indexes are there, what are duplicate indexes are there. So I will give my recommendation to the team and I will tell them that these are the things. Okay, you need to remove it or you need to keep in the monitoring, and if it is not required, remove those indexes. And then I will see since how long those database means the data we have into our database. If it is more than 5 years, let's say more than 3 years, as per the business retention policies, I will ask the user, let's say we are supposed to keep only 3 years of data into the database, and rest either you can move it into the tape backup, or either you will move into the S3 bucket, okay, for the safer side.
Okay, and okay, purging part. Okay, and okay, so another scenario, right? This is very common basically, but yeah, I will need to ask basically. How do you do if you see MySQL is running out of connections?
Running out of connection, user connection, you are saying?
Yep, yep, yep.
Yeah. See, if users are there reporting they are running out of max connection, means connection issues. So as a DBA, we have root user privileges. Okay, so we can go and we can check what are the ideal connections are there. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
what are the active connections are there. If it is not, because sometimes what happens if the connections are user applications are still connected into the database, but those are ideal. Okay, so I will kill those ideal or dead connections from my end. I will show the development team these are the ideal connection, inactive connection, okay, which is coming from the application, and we need to kill it. Okay, so based on that, I will kill those connection, and apart from that, I can increase the connection limit.
Okay.
Yep.
And this is okay. And oh, I forgot that one. Okay.
No
How
problem.
about that query writing? How comfortable are you in that query writing?
Query writing, I am okay. So I know how to read the query.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what exactly they have mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
where they are using the where conditions. Okay, where they are using the where they are using the indexes and all. And yeah, during my free time, I'm still progressing on the query. I'm learning it.
Okay. And okay. So this is different basically, right? And you work on performance tuning, right? The side that is
Yes,
performance tuning, server side performance tuning, or query side in performance tuning?
both server side as well as for query.
Okay, query, right? So what are the common parameter you tune on server side?
Common parameter in the sense, if you can repeat your questions once again.
Yeah, the question is that the common,
Server side. If you are going to say the databases in the database configuration side
no, no, instance level.
or instance level.
Yeah.
Okay, so the let's say sometimes what happen, if the user they are telling us that database is slow, we need to identify why it is slow. If it is specific to the query level or specific to the database level.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we can if the user is reporting that, we can use the same query into that lower environment, and we can see what how much time it is taking.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if everything goes well with the same configuration as in the production, okay, then I will try to check for the InnoDB buffer pool size, how much what is the InnoDB buffer pool size we have allocated, and what's the log buffer size we have allocated, then what is the redo log size we have. Okay, so this thing I will verify from my end. So because those are the main parameter. Okay, so which makes the your performance degrade or improve.
Okay, so can you explain InnoDB IO capacity? What is this?
So InnoDB IO capacity is something like, whenever we are pulling out some data,
Mm-hmm.
okay. So mm, that you can tell, like, how can I say, if you are fetching something from the InnoDB memory, okay. So that will be easy for the InnoDB IO, because that IO contention will be not there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If anything, we try to fetch it from the storage. Okay. So InnoDB IO contention will hit. So it has to work extra to fetch the detail from the storage.
Okay, and what about this open table open, right? Table open cache, right?
Table open cache.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And this is a parameter, right?
Table open. Yeah, this is the parameter, but I didn't work on it.
This is impact any performance? Any idea? Any have you heard the name basically?
I've heard the name, but I never been through it.
Okay, not any. So yeah, this totally depend on the environment basically, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and same as I think there's an open table, right? Open table.
And apart from that, one thing, I sorry to interrupt you, and the other thing, the configuration, like, DB plus log transaction commit, so that
Mm-hmm.
is one parameter comes into the picture, and then sync log bin, that comes into the picture,
Yeah, simply.
and yes, so those are the basic thing, and as I mentioned, relog buffer pool, no, relog buffer size. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
how much size you are allocating it to accommodate the data for the consistency.
Okay. Have you
Yeah.
got chance to work on any partitioning, table partitioning or something?
Table partitioning, yes.
Okay. So what are that steps you follow for that?
So table partitioning is basically, what it is. I'll explain you. So it is dividing your table into the subparts,
Mm-hmm.
in a small chunks, right? So basically, we use the table part. Basically, we use the partitioning to improve the performance of the database, right? So we have a different kind of partitioning. So based on the big business requirement, like, let's say in most of the company, I have seen the date range partition, column partition.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so based on the date range column partition, they have partitioned their tables. If the tables they are having the row, okay, then only it will give us the benefit. Okay, so if the table is having less row, then I don't think so table partitioning will help much.
Okay. And what is this? Yeah, query writing and CT, right? CT and what is this? Variable tables, right? You've seen that one, right?
Yes,
So what is the difference between CT and variable table?
variable tables, like, I need to check it. Selection once.
It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. Everything good?
Sorry.
Yeah, you asked me to wait, right?
No, 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 no.
Okay, okay. Okay, so I think we're discussing about the CT and right, variable tables, right?
Yes. So I need to check it once again, Selesh.
Okay, not an issue. Okay, thank you. And what else? What else? Cloud platform, right? So what are the cloud platform? You get chance to work on that.
Salesh,
AWS.
I worked. Yeah, so I
Mm-hmm.
worked on AWS cloud platform.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Only cloud AWS, right? GCP and
Yes.
Azure.
No, GCP I have not worked on. So AWS, that too, we are using that, RDS, not Aurora. So
Okay,
because
and what about that EC2 instances?
yeah, EC2. So as I mentioned, we have a mix of environment. We have on-premises, we
Mm-hmm.
have a cloud environment. EC2, we have created databases over there, and then we have RDS.
Okay, okay. So I think I have done from this. Okay, I've touched the recipe. Yeah, yeah. So do you have any question? I feel free. Sorry, feel free to answer.
Uh, uh, No, Celeste, not like that, but just if based on our interaction, if you can tell me if the interview was, I was able to answer your questions or not, or if there is anything like where I can improve more. Okay, definitely I will
Yeah,
work
you
on it.
told me about 5 years experience, right? I touch that question on basis of your experience only, right? Not as a 12 years experience, right? Because you've done too
Yes,
many
yes,
different things in your career, right? So
yes,
basically, yeah. But yeah, it's good. But yeah, you know, you have experience, right? So you can explain more on deep, right? Keep going and right. Okay, but yeah, it's good. But basically, yeah, I will provide my feedback in my this portal basically, right? And on the basis of that, people partner can reach out to you, right? Or you
yep,
can
sure,
also call
Shailesh.
if you're not getting any feedback, then you can call that, right? What is my feedback and nothing. Right?
Yep, sure, Shailesh.
Yeah, thank you. Have a nice day. Bye bye.
Thank you, Shailesh. Bye bye.
Bye.
Have a great day.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.